Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders GMS who rule well. Peace, salutations to like Akim on the four corners, put in the truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. This scripture is about how it's okay to judge. You know, they try to say, especially, sinners try to say, hey, it's okay to be a homosexual. You can't judge. Don't the Bible say you're not supposed to judge? It's always used to justify sin. Now this is 2 Chronicles chapter 19, verse 4. And Jehoshaphat dwelt at Jerusalem, and he went out again through the people from Beersheba to Mount Ephraim, and brought them back unto Yahweh God of their fathers. And he set judges in the land throughout all the fenced cities of Judah, city by city, and said to the judges, take heed what ye do, for ye judge not for man, but for Yahweh, who is with you in judgment. Wherefore now let the fear of Yahweh be upon you, take heed and do it, and there is no iniquity with Yahweh our Elohim, nor respect of persons, nor taking of gifts, meaning no bribery. So the Most High is with him. He said, the Most High is with you. So he said the Most High is with you in judgment. So they judge somebody. They decide to put somebody to death for breaking the law. He said the Most High is with you in judgment. You know why? Because the Most High always set up people to execute judgment. Moses, you had Moses when the man was picking up sticks on the Sabbath day. He inquired of Yahweh what to do. Yahweh said, put him to death. The Most High was with him. Most High can be with you, with the Urim and the Thummim, give you visions, give you dreams. But nothing wrong with judging. Now, if you understand what judge means, because you can judge somebody good, you can judge somebody bad. For somebody to say it's wrong to judge, everybody does it. If I see somebody and they have a good character about them, I say, man, this person seems humble. This person seems honest. I just judged them. By me saying that they're good, that's a judgment. If they've displayed a habit and a reputation of being bad, and I think that they're a bad person, then guess what? That's still a judgment. I still judged. When you wake up in the morning and let's say it's raining and you want to take an umbrella, you guess what? You just judged the weather. You looked up, you saw rain clouds, you used your judgment. If you walking down the street at night, in a neighborhood called Hell's Kitchen, filled with Pookie, Ray Rays, and Shaniquas, and you know it, and you see, 7 niggas in hoodies outside of a gas station shooting dice, all smoking weed, smoking blunts with dreadlocks. Are you going to think, oh, you know what? I'm not going to judge them. Those could be Harvard graduates. Or are you going to use your judgment and say, man, those look like some niggas. Let me stay away from them. Whatever your perception is of them, that's judgment. You just use judgment. Now, I want to go to one of the famous scriptures that people like to quote. We're trying to justify 1 second. This is Matthew 7:1. It says, judge not that ye be not judged. Now, people like to read that one verse, not to go any further, and leave it at that. But let's read on. Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. I want to start from the top, but that verse 5 right there lets you know that it is okay to judge. Because he says, cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly. So when you see something, you're seeing to judge it. He's saying don't be a hypocrite. So a hypocrite is somebody that does something, but then turns around and tells somebody else not to do it. Well, if you're not supposed to judge, then he shouldn't say, hey, don't be a hypocrite at all. He should just say, hey, just left it at that. Can't need to, speak after this. He should just left that. Judge not, lest thou be judged. Now let's read it verse by verse, point by point. Okay. Verse 1 says, judge not that ye be not judged. This is similar to a statement in the world. It says, you make your bed, you lie in it. Some people make their bed up good. Some people make their bed up bad. It says, judge not that ye be not judged. Because if you judge somebody, you're going to be judged the same way. Verse 2 elaborates what I just said. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. So however you judge people, it's however you're going to be judged. The type of mercy you show is the type of mercy you're going to be given. So you need to consider that before you do judgment. Because it says, judge not. It says that ye be not judged. So the whole purpose of not judging is so that you don't be judged. But why would you worry about being judged? Because we all have been guilty. We all have sinned. We've all did something. So if you don't want to be judged hard, then don't judge others hard. You need to carefully consider how merciful you've been. Verse 2 says, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. So if you don't show mercy, mercy ain't going to be shown to you. With what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. So if you was very stiff in punishment and you did the same thing, guess what? And that verse 3 goes into it. Why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not a beam is in thine own eye? Now, a mote and a beam are the same thing. So he's saying don't look at somebody who's, let's say, somebody's committing adultery, and you committing adultery, and then you tell them, you judging them, hey man, don't commit adultery. Wait, man, you doing it. Verse 3 says, so in that situation, you're not supposed to judge. Because if you judge, guess what? You're going to be judged. Verse 3 says, why? I mean, either way is wicked. So like you're going to still be judged, but the measure that you judge is going to be judged back. Says 3 says, why beholdest the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam in thy own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? So how are you going to tell somebody to stop committing adultery when you commit adultery? Thou hypocrite. A hypocrite is somebody that does something that they tell somebody not to do. Cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and behold, a beam. Wait, Slakia, verse 5. I was reading verse 4 again. Verse 5. First cast out the beam out of thy own eye. So first you stop committing adultery. You get your mind right, your body right, your soul right, your spirit right. Lead by example. And then thou shalt see clearly and cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. So fight those demons. Get rid of them. And then you can help cast those out of your brother's eye. You know, on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakudash, the belongings to the elders, GMS, were well. Peace and salutations, and shalom.